Hello and welcome to a new video, and today we are going to be talking about the fact that I escaped a cult. Now, this is genuinely something I had to do, and it is a little bit, traumatizing in a way. If you want the traumatizing version, I got them here. But if you want the funny haha version, it's about that done. For you see, I myself right now am 19 years old. And I escaped as soon as I turned 18. Well, that's a lie. I escaped after I turned 18 and was done with my school, which was still when I was 18, later that year. So that tells us I escaped at the age of 18. However, when did I join? Well, for you see, I was a mistake. In the most literal sense of the word. See, my mother and my father, they loved each other very much. Well, not enough to marry, but enough to fuck each other. And that they did under protection. See, my mother did not understand how the pill works. So she took the first pill 2 days before I was cream pied inside of her. Now, if you don't know how the pill works, the pill doesn't work after 2 days. That's just not how it works. And so naturally, I was born. The bitch boy was born in 06. Now, to the credit of my mother and my father, they tried to, stay a couple and raise me together, as a family unit. Unfortunately, they're both fucking narcissists and bastards, so that didn't last very long. And they ended up splitting. Now, I've gotten approximately 3 different stories on how the split happened. My father says my mother left with me while he was out grocery shopping. My mother says that my father screamed at her to leave while throwing things at her. I'm inclined to believe neither, because fuck them both. But no matter what, they split. And my mother moved to my grandmother. The grandmother on my father's side. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, is really stupid. Like, if you're trying to run away from a man that was throwing things at you, you wouldn't go to the grandmother, to the mother of that man. But maybe she's correct. So we lived with my grandmother for a little bit and went house to house. We were basically, instead of staying at a place as like a home, we were jumping from home to home to home. Until one day, let's call it the fast street. For you see, we moved in that fast street, and my mother, right before she went ahead and, got herself impregnated with me, was a part of the Jehovah's Witness. And she left them for my dad, because my dad was like, the Jehovah's Witnesses are kind of weird. I'm not dating no one that's in it. And so she left. Real test of faith. Motherfucker lost the RNG parole in Darkest Dungeon, like goddamn. But then, when we moved to the fast street, she got approached by an old friend, an old compatriot. And suddenly, we were part of the Jehovah's Witnesses again. And yes, it is in fact the titular cult. If you are under the impression that the Jehovah's Witnesses are not in fact a cult, you're wrong, objectively. See, I don't care about your opinion, because I was in it, I have a more professional opinion on the matter. They're cult. And also, if you're gonna complain about this stain that I have on my shirt, I was brushing my teeth, and it flipped on there. So that's unlucky. Can't fault a man for trying to clean himself. But nevertheless, we rejoined the Jehovah's Witnesses. I was 6 years old at the time, if I remember correctly. And let me tell you something, brother, I always remember correctly. That's a lie. But I do still remember waking up on the floor one time after, great house jumping, and I just woke up on the floor. I was like 4 years old. The only thing I felt was like the hard floor because my mother was moving out and she didn't tell me. Okay, I didn't mean to drop that. Anyway, so we in the cult, and I was like, damn, I don't want to be here. This shit take too long. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, we meet twice a week. And so naturally, my 6-year-old brain was like, every Thursday, I have to sit for multiple hours in a room listening to old motherfuckers? I don't wanna do that. And maybe 6-year-old me had a point, because he also had to go on Sunday morning. No, okay, now hold on just a moment here. Thursday evening and Sunday morning. That's like the worst times to have cult meetings. Like, come on. Like, really? Sunday morning and Thursday evening? Come on. Nevertheless, I was forced to attend the meetings because I was a stupid child. And so naturally, the indoctrination started to set in. The more and more steps I took, the more and more things I thought, the more it was in line with the Jehovah, the big ball Jehovah. And suddenly, I grew and I grew and I grew, and then suddenly I started believing. I think the American term is grade school. I don't know. See, from grade 1 to 4, I started thinking and I started believing. But then, my mother, she is illiterate, so she made a fumble. She made the greatest fumble of all time. A fumble so great I am still suffering from it. She gave me an iPad. And by iPad, I mean a tablet. I asked for an iPad and she gave me like a shitty knockoff Huawei, I think. But now I had a tablet with which I learned English, but that's a story for another day. See, that day was yesterday. Like the video, subscribe, hype the video. You can hype the video. That does, I don't know what that does, but you can hype the video. It's pretty pog. And so naturally, with this tablet, I was looking at content, and this content, it had more stuff in it than the usual. But it also had code propaganda, because there was a new app developed for the Jehovah's Witness. See, on any app store, there's the JW library. Okay, I said it like a German motherfucker. The JW library, in which you can literally download all of the content that was ever released by the cult. Which means that this fucking cult has better data preservation than Nintendo. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I am mad. I am mad. Solution music. Can we get some shit together, Nintendo? Anyway, so I was being spoon-fed propaganda. However, because of the second fumble that my mother did, unsupervised internet access, I started seeing other stuff. See, I didn't see it in grade school. In grade school, I was a foolishly foolish fool. The only thing on my mind was studying, God, and Tube Clash. If you don't know Tube Clash, you missed peak. The peak is German, so you would miss it. Tube Clash Season 2 is still the best one. Suddenly, grade 6. See, I'm out of grade school. I am in middle school? I guess? That seems wrong. I guess it is middle school. And then 11 and 12 are high school. That's weird. That's weird. Gesamtschule. In grade 6, I was in the old Gesamtschule. And I started watching English. See, at this point, I was thinking to myself, well, maybe I should get baptized, you know, make my mother happy, be a proud little boy, be a servant to the Lord. However, then a video came into my recommended all about the Jehovah's Witness. I was very curious. Yes, very curious. And that single video, it opened everything up. Suddenly I started doubting, I started listening. I started actually listening to what was being said in the meetings, because I had honestly just been kind of disassociating the entire time. And the more I listened, the more I saw, the more I did not want to be a part of it. However, I was but a prepubescent boy. What can a prepubescent boy do? Well, he can do something that he's forgotten over the years. However, the mother can react by doing something that he's never forgotten over the years. See, the boy can do something that the mother doesn't like, and then suddenly he has to stretch out his hand, and then suddenly a shoe very much harder than this flip-flop I'm using right now to establish the shot would do this and this 5 times on each side. She'd make me turn the hand myself. Bit fucking rude. See, I can do that now. However, when I was living with her, I had phantom pain of that. See, I thought I had PTSD because of phantom pain, but then it went away, so I probably didn't have that. But yeah, she put her hands on me. She put a shoe on me. So naturally, at that point, yeah, definitely not the correct one. I disagree with this entire thing now. My hand is on fire. My mind is on fire. But I'm 14 years old. So, I guess I'll still attend the meetings. See, and at this point, and not actually just at this point, just also before, but like at this point I can, wove it into the narrative where I feel bad about it. So anyway, missionary work. See, you ever heard someone knock at your door and say, we're the Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah, that was me. Because the Jehovah's Witnesses are widely known for their incredible missionary work where they go around house to house and just annoy the fuck out of people. I was one of these people. I helped and I converted people. Now, if you want my actual thoughts on that, anyway, I converted like 7 people in a year after I had already sworn off the religion. So that wasn't, that still doesn't feel great. However, ever played checkers? See, in checkers there's a thing called Zugzwang. That means that if you have a pin that can take another pin, you have to take it. I kind of felt like that when I did missionary work, I was in Zugzwang. Because if I don't, keep up the act of being a devout, holy man, then my mother would beat my ass, which I didn't want to happen. So I literally did the thing most people say they would never do. I sacrificed other people for my own benefit. Yeah. See, in the most literal way of what happened, it is the following. I knew that this religion was a cult. At this point, that was already very clear to me. Then I needed to play a part in that cult until I was 18 years old, because then when I'm 18 years old, I can actually take the stuff I own with me. That was my thought process. I can't just call CPS because then I'll lose all of my stuff. And if I don't do that, I keep my stuff. So I felt like I need to be 18 years old and just run away. So I played along. I played along with the missionary and I converted people and sacrificed them for my own freedom. So naturally, time went on and it went on. And then my father, who had rejoined my life at that point already, left again because of an argument about Men at War Salt Squad 2. I guess that's another video I have to make. My life is really funny. Anyway, I was playing my part. Now I didn't even have a way to go out and go to my father's anymore, so that's unlucky. And so 10th grade rolled around. Graduation of middle school, I guess. This is graduation of Gesamtschule. Yay! Now I needed to choose where I was going to head educationally. See, I needed 2 years until I was 18 years old. And there was an educational path that took 2 years. Fachoberschule. See, anything above that takes 3 years, which would be 1 extra year I would have to be under my mother, which I didn't want to do. And so I decided that I would be an FOS student. However, for FOS, you need not only an internship for the first year, but you also, additionally to that one, need a specialization. So what I pick? Well, you see, design and lathe. All roads lead back to lathe. See, unlike literally everyone else, I used an internship that made me money, because usually internships do not pay. And my internship was just not an internship, it was just a job. And when and when I was asked to talk about my internship, I made a video explaining how I work, and that's still on my channel. But now, over 2 years, I had been making an income. I even started dating, and I was like, we can move out together and split the rent. Oh, they broke up with me. Okay, never mind. Okay, it's the year I turned 18. I've acquired a new relationship. Damn, that was pretty far. Oh, they said the N-word and I broke up with them. Oh, I'm unlucky. But then the time came. I turned 18 years old. And I didn't move out immediately because I still had school. But as soon as school was over, there was one last class party to which I went. And the day after, the immediate day after the last party of that school, I went and packed my bags. That I did together with Creek, GD, the Goat, and another 2 people. They don't have an online presence that I can shout out. So, yeah, we drove here, and now I could use all the saved up money, which was $1,000, to buy a bunch of furniture because I really needed, which then means I didn't have anything saved up anymore because I really needed the washing machine, and I really needed the bed because I didn't have a bed. I really needed a bunch of stuff. I also bought so many things. But after that, I was living in my new home, and now I'm broke. It's unlucky. It's unlucky. However, This tells us all that you can do it too. I fucking did it. Look at me. I look fucking stupid. I did it. I got out of there. I went ahead and did. So you can do it too. Yeet. Muffin, go absolutely. God damn.